It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk through to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. That's the way they do it.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀
Yeah,
tó
good
dòdòdò.
morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary,
So you can take a
Àṣírí
moment. Take a moment to read the caption of the broadcast. At the same time, the description as well. It's going to be in part as usual, okay? But before we get into that, I've got an announcement to make. Yeah, because I may forget, and I always feel bad that, putting the announcement at the last part of the conversation usually makes it not, but yeah, share the broadcast.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Thank you very much.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
The caption for the broadcast is about the poll, their own electoral charade poll. But this conversation tonight is not about the poll. It is about something else that you probably should be paying attention to as well, especially those of us who see this as a pure revalidation of the contraptions, enslavement and all that. Apart from that, we see the process from the world go to what it is right now as a pure charade that is not going to produce anything other than chaos. Or if you are watching me tonight or whatever time you are watching this, this conversation is not about the poll. It is about what the poll is not telling you. Now, you probably will be interested. Share the broadcast.
And yes, right. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. And yes, right. Presido bá rú sí o. And yes, right. Gómìnà gbówó jẹ. And yes, right.
The poll says that Peter Obi will beat Tinubu, Atiku, Kwakwanso, and every one of them all combined if your 2023 election is held today. How did they arrive at that? I'll share with you. Then I'm going to use the same data to tell you something else. Something that, like I said, might sound like nonsense, but it is not nonsense. If you hold it very well, you'll probably not be one of those that will be shocked with what 2023 has in stock for Nigeria and Nigeria politicians. Generally, the entire establishment. Now, it is going to be a two-way thing, and that's why you should probably pay attention tonight. Also, I am going to take us through a few other conversations as well, all right? But like I said, let us start with the announcement before we forget about the important thing, which is so important, if you ask me, especially to those of us who are committed into doing the work. When I say doing the work, I'm talking about not just talking the talk, but at the same time, walking the talk, the talk. So few weeks ago, let's say about 2 weeks ago, we concluded that we would be reaching out to the people of Yoruba land in this Yuletide season. And with the announcement, people responded with your response. Of course, we are now so sure that we are doing it. So that's our first announcement. And what is the update on that? Now, after all this while that we have been trying to pull our resources here and there, you donors, supporters, the Afediferis, the Yoruba Union, Yoruba, the one that we have flagged off on Maiyegun's diary Politico a few months back. However, we were able to pull over 1.7 million naira Nigeria money in a space of 3 weeks, with so many days missed that we never even spoke about it at all. Nevertheless, I did say that whatever we raise, I will be adding 1 million naira to it. Remember, this is not my money. It's our money. Just from the same piggy bank, we have kept all we have raised on different occasions on Maiyegun's diary Politico. So we still have about 1.4 million, if you remember, before these additions were added. However, I said, from that piggy bank, right, I would add 1 million naira to whatever we raised. So, having raised 1.8 million naira in total, as well as plus 1 million naira we are adding to it, simply means that we have 2.7 million naira to start, 2.8 million naira to start with. Of course, we have reservoir, something that some of you should have been so used to now that we don't always want to spend everything. But in this case, we might end up spending everything. However, today, with the help of others who have done their best behind the scene, I am just the intermediary. We just make sure that whatever we say we're going to do, we do them, right? So I have completed the the transfer of the full amount. 2.7 million naira is now in the kitty of our organizers in Nigeria. But I suspect that that won't be enough at some point. So We will talk more about that. But just so you know, that every penny we raised, plus the one we had, we have now made a transfer of 2.7 million naira to the organizer. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who made that happen. And to everybody who still probably want to help. I'll tell you, we believe that we are going to be running on deficit. Deficit in the sense that when they delivered our supplies, spags and rice and all that, we have discovered some unexpected, foul play. We expected 5 kg per bag, but our supplier, sadly, supplied us something that is far less. The typical Nigerian thing, I believe, no supervision and all that. But like I've told people, we are ready to make mistakes. In everything we want to do, our sincerity, our open-mindedness, and then our positivity are always, right, going to work in our favor. But we are willing and, we are happy to make mistakes. In fact, every one of us should be, not afraid. You should never be afraid to make mistakes, because what they say about mistake is that it is an acknowledgement of you at least trying to do something. So yeah, that's where we are on that. There is also this ongoing rumor which has to do with the Yoruba nation advocacy. It's about Professor Banji Akintoye's news that is standing aside from the media. Okay, let's put it this way. The media reported, right, today that Professor Banji Akintoye has now resigned from the Yoruba nation struggle and all that. However, that is not the real picture, okay? On the 5th of this month, we're doing some series on what's going on within the Yoruba nation advocacy, as well as some of the people that are complicating things, right? And just part of what I have access to at the time, so is that Baba Akintoye already, right, requested, that's like over a month ago, requested that he was going to be stepping aside as the leader of Ilano. Ilano as a group, right, advocating for Yoruba nation. So I'm going to be stepping aside, right, as the leader of Ilano. Then his own deputy, Baba Adeniran, will take over, okay? In fact, he was told to hang on. From what I heard back then, truly, he was told to hang on. However, on the 5th of December, he finally put a pen to paper to explain why he's leaving and all of that. His age, his health, a very old man. And you know what that is, right? Honorably stepping aside from the leadership role every day today and all that. So he did actually, he did send out a letter, right? A letter that detailed why he is stepping aside. He is not, from my own understanding, he is not resigning from the Yoruba nation advocacy, which means that, he is still very much involved, but not involved in the decision-making day-to-day, running of Ilano. And for your information, okay, there are many, many other groups who are also working, interested in the emergence of the Yoruba sovereign nation, by the way. All these are meant to be made public anyway, but with the level of, that's going on behind the scene. But we'll get to that part. I just thought you should know that whatever news you have heard out there, this is the real one. This is exactly the situation of things. But we'll come back to that some other days, okay? Now, let's go to today's conversation. One thing, let's start with this. The poll, all right? The poll that says Peter Obi is going to defeat Tinubu and Atiku and every one of them is not the pollster, the people who actually conducted the poll, right? They are not new to the Nigeria political space. Are you with me? They are called the Anap and NOI, right? In 2011, they did something. And you remember, it was after the death of Yaradua. And Jonathan was told not to run. However, within a space of 10 months, he was able to become the darling of so many people, the same darling that eventually lost that darling sheep 4 years after that. Anyway, this Anap, they conducted a poll then, okay? And it was between Jonathan and Buhari. They projected Jonathan that was going to be the winner, right? Indeed, he won. In 2015, these guys came again. This time around, it was Jonathan versus Buhari. Now, for the first time, a lot of people questioned the validity or the authenticity of the pollster as unreliable as data is in Nigeria, but somehow they put this stunt at the early stage. They said that Buhari would win. And indeed, he won. Now, in 2019, when Buhari's failing APC, Egbekegbe's government, were planning to rig, as they indeed rigged, but when they sampled the opinion of people at the time, these same pollsters, it was then between Buhari and Atiku. Now, Buhari and Atiku, when they did this, in fact, this was more rejected by the people. Like, how dare you? How could you even believe this? For those who are not too, too deep in the Stockholm syndrome, that Nigerians are always suffering from, you will remember that Buhari's government in 2019, right, was so abysmal, so unwelcome, but for the most part, where Buhari needed his usual vote, it was not denied them. And afterward, Buhari won. So the difference today is this. For the first time, even you and me, when we want to really be typical Nigerians, we will remember what we are used to. It has always been 2-horse race, 2 CMS twins. No difference between them. You couldn't even differentiate who is who between them anyway. But yet, they continue to maul everybody into just a single lane, the establishment lane. So for the first time, they are really get to the national consciousness, as we agree, the Nigerian politicians are not so sure of what is going to happen in 2023. You know, the usual thing is this, okay? It's a business. And for those who have participated or observed the Nigeria elections in the last 20 years, you will realize that they are not always campaigning for election, but they are mostly looking for allies who are going to be promised one thing or the other, because everybody is looking for something. And the more of those who trust what you offer them, the more you get to know if you are scaling through that political battle at the time of that time. Now, what do I mean by that? For those of us who have given up on the entire system and the entire process because of what we know and what we see all the time, right? We did simply because we know that no matter what you do, they will tell you to go through the right channel. You know, that's what they say. Go through the right channel. If you are not happy with what we are doing, go through the right. And the right channel is the channel they built, the corrupt, rigged channel. So a lot of us believe that it's a waste of time, waste of resources, waste of everything to try to want to engage them, unseat them, and change the system to favor those who are like should be the majority, the people. You realize that you cannot win against the house. You cannot win against a system that you are using its own rules to engage them in a fight. So we stayed back and we said, let the right thing be done, which is let's break it up. But they have the control. So we stayed away. So for the first time, they have a reason to be worried. And this reason to be worried started from October 2020. You see that what happened in 2020? It is the sign of what is still to come. And I'll tell you this for free. What you are experiencing what you are facing as a people between now and that 2023, is so huge that the politicians in Nigeria always have their plan B when they are going into a battle like this. And for the first time, they couldn't even make up any plan, talk less of a A or B. So majority of them are actually going into this as the last fight of the establishment. So who wins between that? There will always be chaos. And here is the explanation. They just did a poll that did not pinpoint the two major oligarch parties in Nigeria. Now listen to this. So you might have your reservation about Obi and others, but do not pretend that you don't know the real and true forces, the real energy behind everything they are doing. And the only gamble the establishment have right now is to do what they do best. But like I said, for the first time, they have no idea what is likely to happen. And a poll like this is to check the pulse of Nigeria, that these guys actually believe that they own. Now, a lot of people want Nigeria to break and say, let's go our separate ways. But you know something? Like some people said, Nigeria is not going to go down without a fight. And when we say that, we are talking about the owners of Nigeria are not going to go down without a fight. So if for the first time, the pollster who told you or who polled in 2011, 2015, and 2019, with all of the irregularity associated with all of their polls, they still came out, right? They came out right. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that somehow, as the establishment is working around on how to tame those they call the obedient, there are also silent majority, right, that are likely going to pull a surprise that will eventually surprise the establishment. They will overreact or react wrongly, and then that will spark up, ignite what will likely unite those who have been waiting for a day to end this madness once and for all. Now let's take them in parts. Obi has no structure. That's what they have been saying. And in fact, if we have to really rate them based on what we know and from the experience that we have had about the Nigerians who have always loved their own oppressors for different reasons, by the way, you will say, I mean, Obi has no structure. When you talk about the monetary inducement, when you talk about the control, when you talk about the power of incumbency and every other thing, of course, is of no match to these guys. But there is something that I wanted to know. Whatever you see Tinubu and Atiku, whatever you see them do. Now, maybe I should quickly say this before we even get deeper into this for you to understand this better. Okay? I am speaking from the position of somebody who doesn't have any singular faith or belief in the Nigerian system, which I have explained many times, that if you want to know why the system is what it is, pay attention to the process. And I'm glad a lot of people who have been paying attention to the process can conclude what the end goal will be. Also, there are also those who are building their fantasies around what is happening. We call those that, I usually call those people the weathermen and weather women. If it is cold now, they will react to that cold. If it's warm now, they will react to the warmness. If it is breezy, they are like weather people. They are inconsistent. They are more or less like reactionaries and all that. So somebody like me speaking from this angle, and then you would likely ask, what then is your interest? I'll tell you. There is something called system, and like Nigerian system represents, there are many, many of us here, millions. Okay, let me use figure here. From all of their charade, buying votes, rigging, and the rest of that, in 2015, between Jonathan and then Buhari, they could only poll, what do you call it? About 25 million, all of the votes for that election. Nigeria population at the time was about 198 million people. In 2019, between Atiku and Buhari and the rest of all other polls, all of the polls put together, for them in 2019 was less than 30 million. I think it was 28 point something million. Nigeria population at the time was over 200 million to start with in our projection. But here is what you should know. For those who wanted APC, Egbekegbe, in 2015, and for those who didn't want them, put all of them together. Sorry, for those who actually showed that, right? And then the consequences of that decision of less than 14 million people, even if they are fake, original, bought, rigged, whatever, the consequences of that choice of 2015 is not limited to those 14 million people. A lot of people have died from that decision. A lot have lost everything. Lost their job, lost their savings, lost their investment, lost their businesses, lost their relationship, lost their marriages. Some have lost their health. Some people renewed that in 2019. So what does that mean? It simply means that as long as Nigeria is still Nigeria, whether you are in or out, whether you are in support of them or not, you should have interest. In fact, because of what I'm going to tell you next, is the reason why you should have interest, because the consequences of whatever they do is not limited to them. You know that? There are so many, there are people who left where they are based, where they are safe. Oh, I'm very safe in America. I'm very safe here and there. But they traveled back to Nigeria and they never returned back to where they came from. Yeah. And that is the consequences of the decision of 14 million people. Now, if you are in my own position, somebody who have seen through the process that continue to produce this crop of criminals who are holding sensitive position in government, positions that decisions they make are not, the consequences of the decision they make are not limited into the four corners of the rooms where they are making those decisions, where millions of lives, where the lives of millions of people are at stake. So if we cannot influence them in changing the trajectory, I'm sorry about the blinking, okay? Let me do something about that. I'll come back to this, okay? Don't go anywhere. It's a terrible thing with my new camera. Once the battery starts going lower, what do you call it? The lenses will start flickering. Sorry about that.
Maiyegun diary Politico. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun diary. Ẹ fara balẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary.
Sorry about that. Okay. So if we don't have the full power, right, to influence changing the trajectory that affects all of us, if we can't make them do it or change it, we can at least remind them of the consequences of their choices and decisions, where we ensure or always make sure that if you are one of those who typically blame devil or who usually call on God to come and rescue you after choosing criminals and defending them, believing that they are going to turn good and do good to you, it is ideal that Temple of Truth, Maiyegun's diary Politico, is somewhere you will know that as much as you have a right to make your choices, at the same time, you must also be responsible enough, right, to be held responsible for the consequences. You must be responsible for the consequences too. So this is me, who has no interest, because I know what the end goal is going to be if it goes either way. But again, I am also free to try to remind you that if it should go this way, there could be something that's going to happen. If it should go that way, something is going to happen. That's why I said it might sound like nonsense, but would you mind listening and just think about this? Their poll is no longer choosing APC, PDP. That is the first shocker. In September, usually, there are those from the Tinubu's camp who have played the tribal card, the religious card, the ethnic card against the obedient. All of these are evident out there. Social media, don't forget. Internet, don't forget. They said Obi, if they see you with Obi, then you must be Igbo or a Yoruba bastard. So it was that much card that they played well that some people now said, listen, Northern Nigeria, let's be honest, they will never, ever, ever touch Obi. But when they say Northern Nigeria, this Muslim ticket, which APC, Egbekegbe, is pushing, has brewed another set of angry Nigerians that you can call the silent majority. Now, what you can say today about their poll is this. There are silent majority. They may not have polled millions of them. Okay? But this is the point. There are silent majority that are likely waiting when the chance presents itself to crush and crash this system as well, in a way. But like we said, that the system is never going to go down without a fight. But now let's take a look. What are now kind of making everybody sort of, not everybody, I'm talking about those who have chosen their own side, especially PDP and APC. Also, on Maiyegun's diary Politico, when people like us said we are no longer interested in any of your charade, right, that we will wait for the system to self-destruct, right, when the obedience started, we said, now we have found the people that we are going to use, okay, to torment you, so that it won't be like, why don't you go and register, go and start a party and the rest. So some of us are never going to be part of it. Now we have found those who can also help keep your blood pressure above normal before you finally get that power drunk in 2023 and get pushed enough to conduct that your charade, and then the aftermath is exactly where I'm going. Now, their poll conducted, number one, because Obi and disobedient, INEC, their website crashed when people started registering that they want to vote. Don't forget that too. The surge in the people who want to, and the people who actually have registered before and they wanted to get their voters card as well. The surge in that after Obi was part of waiting shock the system itself. And as usual, the same system that said they want to do beavers, there's something they call beavers. Some of this is what some of you are relying on. They cannot rig it, Maiyegun, you don't understand. High right. Anyway, as you are confident, the establishment is worried, right? And they are already in court to stop that. No, you cannot use the beavers. It's not going to work everywhere. It's not this or that. Now they have conducted a poll. And this poll is speaking. In September, they said Obi will beat all of them. In October, they said Obi will beat all of them. Now, in December, they said Obi will beat all of them. Now, what does that tell you from experience? From experience, so with me, I know. Are you with me? And with what we are already seeing and witnessing, Tinubu is seeing himself as somebody who is just waiting for his coronation day. Maybe they just can't inaugurate him. And when you are in that state, and things are probably not as it's planned, and you keep checking and realize that things are not as they plan, then you become desperate, right? Now, that your normal thing that you will do codedly, all the rigging and everything that they will do codedly. Now, there is a possibility now that they will be pushed to do them publicly. And when they do them publicly, there is also possibility that people are going to react. Now, two reactions. One, if Tinubu is declared the winner, the obedient and the silent majority, right? They are expected to react. Depend on what style of winning they declared for Tinubu. If Obi is declared, which is going to be the shock and the shockest of the century, now him be say at that time, all of you with the stockpile food, stockpiling food for election, and in case of wahala, you should be 100% ready for a serious upheaval in some part of Nigeria, based on what we have on ground in you, as well as the past record, and I will give you instances, and you can tell me I am wrong. The Anap came out and they said Peter Obi will beat Atiku, Tinubu, Kwakwanso if they do your election today. In the part of the north, the likes of APC, Egbekegbe, they are using religion to threaten people. They are using religion to coerce people. And I'm not saying this because, like I said, me, I am just here to witness the face-off before, during, and after. In fact, especially after. Now, these are the small ingredients that I want you to put at the back of your mind as events unfold. They are not insignificant to share you get. That's why I gave you the history of the people who released this poll. Are you with me? And the danger of what this means. Tinubu, Atiku, and others who do things like normally recruit people, pay them, hire this, hire that. They have money for lawyers and the rest. They have all that stuff. They do things like normal. Obedient, who have no structure, who have nothing that you could probably relate with in the typical Nigerian setting. For the third time in 4 months, their poll says they will beat them. Now, look at this. It's leading them by 10% as of December. Now, so now they would have to go and find out, for example, in North Central. Look at North Central, where you have the likes of Benue, where you have Kaduna, where you have Taraba, where you have Kwara, I believe, where you have all these states that are mostly like a middle belt joint central. They are majorly Christians and Muslims as well. Now, Obi is leading Tinubu there by 15%. Now, you see, it may sound like joke because that's what Tinubu said. Tinubu said, this is just a pure joke. Like, all of them are just wasting your time. And that's exactly what they said on every of the poll in the past. And I am taking this one serious because it's not about Obi actually winning. It is what is winning or is projected winning is going to trigger based on the past experience, okay? North Central are going for him. Northeast, you see, that Northeast is where Shetima is coming from. Borono, sure you get. So somehow they are going for Atiku and Tinubu there. Okay, Obi and his obedient are not making headway there. In the Northwest, Obi is not making much headway, but 11% outside his home base. Tinubu is Yoruba, Obi is Igbo, Atiku is Fulani, Kwakwanso is Hausa. Now, their regions, Obi is from Southeast, Tinubu is from Southwest, Atiku is from Northwest, I believe. Is it Northwest? And Rabi Kwakwanso is from North Central. Is it? Or Northeast? I don't know. Anyway, from Kano, Atiku is from Adamawa. Now, when you look at these charts, yeah, it says that Obi will get his 50% in Igbo land. And Tinubu will get just about 1%. Atiku will get just 1%. It's like they are like not touching them at all. But look at the South. Obi is going to be like almost 50% there too, right? Even though these are the areas controlled by PDP and APC, I think. Yeah? But look at Southwest. You have lot of obedience there too, Abi. But it is Tinubu's zone. So Obi is still going to presently, he is pulling about 15% there. While Tinubu is just hanging around 22-23%, his own zone. And you know the truth, oh. It is actually what it is out there, right? So Kwakwanso is on, you know what I mean. Now, take a look at this one, the way they broke them down, okay? They said, for example, in South, in September, Obi was about 50%. In October, it's still 50%. That is in South. Tinubu has gained more from what he had in September. Atiku have lost more from what he had in September. and Kwakwanso and the rest of them. You see that? Now, here is another one. Southwest, where Tinubu is expected to like have a freeway and all that. Abi? Okay, they say Atiku is from Northeast. Oh. So Northeast, okay? So in Southwest, Obi was doing a little bit over 10% in September. Now, in December, is now doing over 18%, right? Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you, I'll still tell you, because you see, you are seeing, some of you are seeing voters, Abi, or more. Me, I am seeing the future revolution as it is already spreading. And when they say silent majority, in this case, I want you to pay attention to the numbers now. Not the number to make Obi president, but the number of those who are going to be interested. If they get rigged, if this establishment get frustrated before February, and they are unable to send them away, they are unable to push them out, and Obi is still in their midst that way. Now, they will want to find out where these numbers are. They want to know. Now, to me, let me tell you again, for me, Maiyegun general, you are seeing voters, Abi, Obi voters, Abi, you know voters, Abi. Well, that's it. Me, I'm not seeing voters. I am seeing the brewing dissidents who are going to react once the establishment do what they do best, muzzle them, rig them, bribe them, do all of that. And they are going to be interested in seeing how Obi is going to be rigged out. In this case, you can wait for their reaction, okay? Now, let's go to another part. Look at this number. This is North Central, okay? Obi was not doing much in, what do you call it? In September. In December, the number has grown higher in North Central, where you have all the Middle Belt zone and all of them, Abi? Now, Bola Tinubu's number is dwindling. He had more before. Now he's dwindling in December. Atiku own was much as well in September, but in December, it's gone down. Right? Kwakwanso own, look at that. Now, go on again. Let's go to Northeast. This is Northeast, where the Boko Haram terrorism started from, and the terrorism industry in Nigeria have their headquarters, where billions and billions and billions of dollars borrowed and printed have been expended. But rather for the terrorism to abate, it has continued to grow in wings and bounds. Okay. Now let's take a look at the figure here too. Peter Obi had no much presence there. The obedient, call them obedient. They had no much presence there. But in December, the number has grown. Tinubu's number in September was higher, but it has dropped. Maybe not much, but it has dropped. Same with Atiku's number, which seems to be Atiku's a sort of a zone 2. Yeah. Now, the number has dropped. So, same with Kwakwanso. Now, when you look at that, it simply means, now, another thing I want you to see when you look at this graph, all right? Apart from you are not looking at voters. Obedient, I know you are looking at voters, okay? Like you are preparing for votes. You are preparing for election, Abi? But you should also have it at the back of your mind that the establishment is not preparing for election. And they are not looking away in all of this. Now, as you are looking at those graphs, when the number drops for Tinubu and Atiku in that graph, what that simply means is that the sympathizers for the establishment, they are dropping too. Are you with me? They are dropping too. Okay? So, which means whatever is the outcome of their charade, the number of people that are going to probably protest for them or support them is also dwindling. You must have that at the back of your mind for those who actually know how to play with data very well, okay? Now, look at this one again. This is a Northwest, all right? Now, if you look at the graph, right, again, you will realize that Peter Obi had no much in September. 3 months after, his number has grown. His sympathizers have grown there, right? The people who said they would vote for him if they have to. Now, look at Tinubu's number. it remains what it was in September, now in December. Okay? Now, a lot is going to happen between now and January as well, right? Now, he's maintaining his level there while Atiku is dropping. His supporters are dropping. So you could say, maybe as the Tinubu and the Atiku are dropping numbers, they are actually like those who are now joining the obedient as sympathizers, at least as of today, December, okay? So they say Tinubu will have about 22% from Southwest if election is conducted today. Are you with me? Now, talking about how they stand from where they all come from, all right? Now, if they do election today, Obi will get 50% from the Southeast, from the Igbo people. So 22% people in Yoruba land or less are actually supporting Emilokon as at today. Shall you get? Now, this number won't make any sense to those who, to their supporters in any way, but to me, and to some of us who have sort of a knowledge of what data could turn out to be, and based on the track record of these people. So Atiku from the Northeast will still have the backing, 23% backing of his own people if election is conducted today. And from these charts, now you have it. Okay? So this man who said he is going to be declaring who he is going to be mobilizing for is also coming on board soon. However, like I said, as you have seen that number, I want you to just close your eyes for a second and just imagine this number, these percentages, just see them as humans who are going to witness the robbery like never before. The same robbery that they are already used to, that they've never been interested in. Now, imagine when they all spring up here and there to say, we no go gree. I'm coming to that part. This person, who is the person who conducted the poll, actually had, he added there one or two things. I think you should listen to this. The credits for this video goes to Channels Television. Let me beg them. May they no report us, so education will they give Nabi. Watch this.
You know, we talked about 4 zones where the candidates came from. We didn't mention the 2 zones that no candidate is from. And that's part of the big difference. Yeah. Because in those 2 zones, which is no candidate's home zone, the breakdown shows that in the South-South, Peter Obi is way ahead. And in the North-Central, where in September, in the North-Central, Peter Obi was at 16%, along with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In the North-Central, Peter Obi has moved from 16% to 24%. Bola Tinubu has lost ground in the North-Central. Again, people can have their theories that zone worries about religion and Muslim tickets. Those are all theories. The numbers just show that Peter Obi, for whatever reason, has moved ahead in the North Central. Now, in the same North Central, Atiku Abubakar is running 3rd. You follow me? Yeah. He's running 3rd, but just slightly below Bola Tinubu. By just a percentage. Yes. So that's the North Central. And the South-South, which is another zone which they are all not from, the 4 candidates. In the South-South, Peter Obi was at 46% in September, and he's still at the same exact 46%. In fact, no movement whatsoever. So he has not gained traction, he's not lost traction. Have the opponents gained traction? Some of them have. Bola Tinubu has moved from 2% in the South-South to 9%. Atiku Abubakar, our numbers show in the South-South, has lost some ground from 6% down to 3%. And Kwakwanso stayed at his 1%. Again, if you look at that result, you might say, why would Atiku Abubakar not do so well in the South-South? But actually, it's not.
I like the fact that some of you are already watching, especially those of you who are concerned, PDP, APC, and all that, Yoruba, Igbo, and then Northerners. Like I said, you are viewing this broadcast from your who is going to be who and who is going to be what. And therefore, this poll is nonsense. I agree with you, it's nonsense. But you know what? It is nonsense because all of you who have chosen your different sides, you are so cocksure, right, that you are going to pull this off, especially APC. But here is the shocker. What if you are unable to pull it off after all you have, all the control, a whole Tinubu? What if you are unable to now pull it off? What are you going to do? I'll tell you something. In 2011, when these same people, this pollster, when they did this poll, there were those who were like, it's impossible. Never. Northern Nigeria, where Buhari is, forget it. And remember, they just lost Yaradua, their own shot and turn to present the president of Nigeria for 80 years, possibly. So Jonathan was then projected that, was projected that he was going to win. And a lot of people laughed, like, forget it. Even though it was incumbent, it stood a chance. But do you know what happened? The fanatics up north, the likes of Asa Pandemic, the likes of Adisirika, and the likes of other rogues who have now become prominent inside Buhari's government today. They didn't believe that. Not just that, or maybe they did, but do you know that an average Buhari idiot from northern Nigeria at the time, when they see Buhari and the crowd, when they see a lot of people like around, so after the election, they declared Jonathan the winner. How many of you remember that within a space of 1 week, start with the first 24 hours, 89 people were slaughtered and killed across northern Nigeria, starting from Bauchi. And in a space of 6-7 days, more than 460 people were killed because Buhari lost the election. You know why? It was unbelievable. No way. No way Buhari will lose. It's impossible. How did that happen? The infidels have rigged Buhari out. So their army of educated and poorly educated and uneducated northerners, Buhari's begotten miscreants, CPC. They started burning, killing. Guess those they are attacking? Southerners, Christians. I am not making this up. You can look it up and read about it. They never believed that Buhari could lose an election. How is that possible? We are more than them in the south. How did you know that stuff? So when you see an APC who tells you, Maiyegun, forget that, we should be nonsense. And you see another Atiku person that says, forget it, Charade, Maiyegun is all nonsense. I could understand because they are going to react. How many of you remember Orubebe? We will not take it. We will not take it. It's impossible. We will not take it. Jega, you are compromised. You remember Orubebe? That will be the last fight. But there will be consequences. So here are the consequences. APC, Egbekegbe, many of them who live in denial of the failure of Buhari and the rest of them, they continue to live in denial of that. Who are also living in denial of the day that Nigeria under APC, Egbekegbe, turned their guns on their own citizens, the young people, and they massacred over 1,000 people across Nigeria in a space of 3 weeks. No joke. Obigbo alone, where were the Wike? This man wanted to prove that he is not Igbo. And there is no Biafra in rivers. Decided to use the momentum of the mass killings under APC, Egbekegbe in Nigeria, to slaughter over 1,000 Igbos in Obigbo. He is going to be a wanted genocidist too, with a Wike, I'm telling you. So all of these, that between 2015 and 2022, APC, Egbekegbe, that they took Nigeria from the biggest economy in Africa to the poverty capital of the world in 7 years, ladies and gentlemen. That APC, Egbekegbe, in the last 7 years, they increased the number of jobless Nigerians from 13.5 million to over 100 million today. No joke. I mean, people living in denial of APC, Egbekegbe, destroying Nigeria economy. In recession 3 times. Destroyed the refineries in Nigeria. Ruined your Naira. And elevated corruption to become a legal thing. It depends on which side you are. I mean, you are APC, Abi, or you are not. You are Yoruba because of Tinubu. You cannot wish all these things away. These are real things that ordinarily, those who are standing that they want to be this or that from APC, Egbekegbe, should ordinarily be arrested. All of them, rounded up. Life in jail. For having the audacity to print a poster and say you are APC, Egbekegbe in Nigeria. You can't wish them away. They are always going to haunt you. Of course, poverty is weaponized. A lot of the people who are already abused are also going to queue behind them to re-empower them. But fine. What if you are unable to turn it like I said? What if you are unable to pull it off, do whatever you want to do, and Tinubu is not declared? What's going to happen? Riots. Fight. I mean, if you have not been thinking, Maiyegun is impossible, Bagbe. Maiyegun, forget it. Ashiwaju is going to be our this, and that. That's exactly what somebody who is also following Atiku would tell me. Don't you think so? Of course, I have heard them speak. I've heard them talk. They are confident too. The Northerners will not support a Christian. They are going to support Atiku. This and that. An articulated moron, articulated mugu. The articulators, they are confident too. To them, I forget about this Obi. Now, the question is this. What are you going to do if you're unable to pull it off? Or what are you going to do if indeed una they read them, they see them, they read them, they see them, and it's like they are going to make Obi your president? What are you going to do? Give Nigerians the same 2011 treatment, where those who committed those crimes are never caught, never tried, and maybe then many of them ended up in the terrorist camp that are terrorizing Nigerians today. Who knows? Nigeria is a crime scene. It's a criminal's den. You just have to be very careful which camp or which group you belong to when you want to experiment the adventure of your criminality. Be careful, or else they will use you as a scapegoat. But guess what? The same crime they are going to probably can you for is the same one they are going to elect. The worst one, they are going to elect a criminal to be their governor. Just be careful which one you belong to. I am asking you this. We have seen the collaboration between the PDAPC. Don't let us deny it. And some of you who don't belong to PDP, don't belong to APC, but somehow, you are a typical Nigerian. Somehow, you're embedded Nigerianness in you. Tribalism, bigotry, classism, corruption, and so many other things that actually characterize the typical Nigerian. You probably could be a little bit shocked too. Are you prepared? Is it going to be the clash of the titans? Obi it's never going to happen because it's going to cause war. Infidel will never rule Nigeria. And so many other things they've said. Would Nigeria unravel then? Have you thought about that? Okay, let me give you an instance. Let me take you through that too. Like I said, it might sound like a nonsense. It might sound like sensible. I just want you to think about it for a moment. Not as an election as they are presenting it, as what you think of it and what will be your reaction if it should go the other way. The poll says it's going to beat them. And the poll continues to say it's going to beat them. So if in the February they conduct their charade, and then the final result says it didn't beat them, and people who are going to be rising up to say, no, it's going to beat them. Are you going to go silent right away? Because don't forget, this whole thing started just about 8 months ago. Remember that 8 months ago, about 9 months ago. So they were not here 9 months ago. There was nothing like obedient anywhere 9 months ago. Or maybe there was, because I remember they were pushing PDP. PDP, you must give Obi. If you don't give Obi, we are going to leave you. I remember that. And then eventually they left. And they became the what do you call it? They became the broken bottle on the foot of the Nigerian system. So remember what I said, that if you are looking at this as Obi, you are going to miss the big picture. You're going to miss the big picture. From what I have observed so far, of course, obedient and Obi movement and the rest, they are just the conglomeration of all of those who have become victims of Nigeria and of those who felt like if they have a chance of stabbing Nigeria and the Nigerian, the oligarch and the rest of them, they would do the double stabbing and multiple stabbing without looking back. So they found solace in the obedient movement that even Obi no get control over them. Do you know that? They no get control over them. When I say control, I'm talking about the control like, don't do this, don't do that. No. You will realize that when they react, they are reacting based on the frustration, the bottled up anger, bottled up disappointment, brutality, bullying, and so many other things that the system have done to them in their lifetime. So when they react, they are always like, I be you the crazy, I be you want mad, you say, Baba, calm down. I just say Obi no go win. That stuff. It is always from the rage, the anger. But the point now is this. If they now take that rage and the anger to decide to bring their Obi and the system, cover them, do something, kick them, or can them, what is going to happen to that your rage and anger? Have you ever thought about that? The structure that is telling people that Obi is going to win. Some people are saying they are looking for it. Where's the structure? We know if you see them. Labour Party self no even get candidate for House of Rep. They don't get candidate for this one. Everybody is asking. Guess those who are asking? The typical traditional Nigerians. Traditional. When I say traditional, because there are some things you have to do for people to take you serious. This one, no serious. Oh, they conduct poll. They say he go win. You say na joke. What if he is about to win? And you can't dey shocked. Say, oh man, what did they happen? Would you just side with the system to crush them, or are we actually preparing for the revolution that we've said all this while? That some of you are actually not thinking about. Are you? When I look at that number, that's exactly what I see. I'm seeing the rage, the anger, the frustration, those who are the victims of the killings, those ones who are like the silent majority, that the system will do everything to make sure that they are never heard. But they are not called silent majority for nothing. So it simply means that even if they are not accepting or agreeing, even if every day you see all this crowd here and there, paid for, mobilized by this establishment, there's something you must also pay attention to. There are people who are going here and there, not paid, not mobilized, not paid to come out, Abi, But somehow, they continue and constantly do that. Now, are you sure you are not actually, if you are APC or P, are you sure that you are not pretending, right, that you are all right, even when you know that everything that is going on right now is terminal? And that's something I told people. I said, if it is about resources for the self-determination advocates, right? The criminals in Nigeria, they have so much resources. They could infiltrate anywhere. They could take over anything. They could crumble any group that is coming for them. So it's going to take a lot of similar or close to resources to match Nigeria and the criminals ruling Nigeria and their allies all over the world. Now, in the absence of such humongous resources, we have now figured out that, of course, everything that has a beginning will have an end. And if you want to begin to quote when is the end of Nigeria that they have been saying, I can tell you something free of charge. The end of Nigeria you are seeing now is so near. And the establishment is fighting their last fight. If they fail, they are not going down without a fight. Now, if they fail and they eventually succumb, you can begin to look forward to more surprises in the emerging Nigeria, because it will be bloody. When I say they won't go down without a fight, you know what I mean. It's going to be one of the shockest of the world if these two traditional political, career politicians, what have you, if they get buried by the raging, hungry, frustrated Nigerians behind Obi and Obi movement. I want you to pay attention to that, though. And if it doesn't mean anything to you, all right, thank you for watching. Because to me, I would love to see that shock on so many people's faces when the whole house begin to crumble like a pack of cards. I'll stop there for now, talking about the waiting for the system to self-destruct, because it will get to a point where they would have to outplay themselves. They would have to play themselves out of their own treasury. And guess what? It seems that it's about to catch up with them. Is this about to? And somebody said, what if they begin to act up? Which I believe they would. They would act up. If this whole poll of a thing, which is creating serious problem in their ranks right now, I have to be honest, it's creating serious problem. Now, if at the end of the day they are forced, right? So what they are going to do, let me give you examples of what they are going to do. Majority of you are never going to see your voter's card. It's going to go missing. You're never going to see it. And they are going to program them to the areas they have seen that they are likely never going to make headway, right? Now, that will create a sort of a resentment that many of you will know that is deliberate. In some areas where they have already armed their different, their different thugs, they are going to ensure that they prevent you. All of you are coming there to come and make it difficult for the establishment to survive. Now, you're going to record a lot of this infighting. People are going to be killed in that fight and the rest, right? But here is the point. There will be more resistance this time around. And when I say resistance, there will be more resistance this time around. And also, when everything finally go, like you start seeing them start making mistakes. When I say mistakes, they will start saying things that will show to you that the establishment is under serious pressure. Now, if it gets to that stage, then you will start seeing brewing and grouping hungry people here and there, waiting for the final. Many of you won't wait for the final announcement. If they conduct their charade, many of you won't wait before you hit the streets. And you know one thing that I've projected, it is two ways. This one will be say, as some of you will be say, hey, Obi, don't we know? Thank God, though. Some people are going to have to be running out of their homes in some part of Nigeria, while some people are going to be losing their lives right away. Then at the end of the day, there's going to be like a, maybe I'm too projecting something that is going to make you so worried, Abby. Don't worry. Let's take a quick one. Where Wike said, in fact, before I go to Wike, I think I should stop and see and probably hear from Kolu. So today, Kolu and Sonwoiku, they brought in young businessmen, young business leaders to discuss with them, and then I tell them about blah, 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 blah. So it was Sonwoiku that first spoke. He was talking about his own achievements, but I kind of heard that he was just playing about Tinubu's old video. But listen to this, then Kolu has something to say. Like I told you, he's just waiting for his inauguration. He's waiting for the day they are going to hand over to him. So if there's going to begin to see some sign of a shock or surprises, you should expect some reaction. And the reaction is going to show their frustration. The frustration I want to see, the shock I want to see, and the mistakes I want to see them make, and the Nigeria that they have already ruined, and they are so shameless to admit. We see how they will implode that all by themselves. But first, Sonwoiku.
For one thing that I just want to show you is because the MC mentioned about the real life yesterday. If I have it on, please can you just play that 1 minute and see how life just cleans it. I don't have a speech, I don't know what the event is going to touch, but I'll show you a video now. Listen to this man, just for 1 minute. Please, can we have the audio?
Advanced programs across the metro lines, this is being discussed already. We have attracted the interest of World Bank once again. We think we are evaluating between the likely and less disruptive and disruptive. Right? We are looking at this corridor of the existing railway track. I don't to study already conducted to take off from northwest to east and south to north. And then we can now support some other areas and metro or mass transit system.
Thank you.
That is a program that will
thank you. I think this is organic. I didn't plan it. I didn't know we were doing the conversation, but I can tell you, 20 years ago, I was in that unique opportunity to set up that first-in-class, a quasi-public sector office called Lamata, which was his brainchild, which I had the opportunity as a young man to help create and formulate at that time. And the success that everybody is saying, the blue line, the red line, we shall all know today, which I take, right, back then with an idea of our flag bearer way back then. And I think we are no better, so better.
Just like that. 20 years ago, anything you see me do in this Lagos, 20 years ago, I was in that office when we were planning everything for the private sector, blah, 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 blah. I mean, they have the bragging right. Okay? Rotifmi, Amochi, the Obima, Judas Iscariot, built something similar when he was governor in Rivers State. He never completed it. $402 million of Rivers State money was said to have been expended on the project of you saw this metro train, city train, metro train, and all that stuff, overhead train, you know, blue line, red line, electric train, and all those stuffs they have told people. Amochi started it in Rivers, by the way, like somebody who he was constructing those things. $405 million spent, completed. Where the Wike didn't touch it, unfortunately. Even till now, he never touched to complete it for the people of Rivers State. So, Sonwoiku has bragging right too, and let's give that to him. He has started a blue line by himself, constructed it, and delivered it. The red line, the Akolu, designed 20 years ago, as they are saying, is still going through construction, and somewhere Wike said is going to complete it. And for me, right, that is public property. That is an infrastructure that could serve at least more than 1 million to 2 million people every year. What am I saying? Every month, John. It can serve more than 40 to 50 million people in a year. That is direct. That's something that have direct impact on you. And I think that was why the Kolu, without telling them how, said he will give you electricity. And if all the promises he's been making you, if he failed to give you any of them, if he come back for second term, don't vote for him. Now, that is why I said he's just like somebody that they have said, Obalola, Obalola, Crown Prince. Kolu is just out to give us content. He's not really campaigning because of this. To him, he's just waiting for his inauguration. Now, if everything is planning and promising you, if none of them is delivered or as Buhari did to you, if he come for second time, no vote time. That's in his own words, though. Listen.
He asks us to double down on policy for embedded power generation. Yes, so whichever way, by all means necessary, you must have electricity. And you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I couldn't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me.
I give you all these promises. I don't fulfill them. If I come for second term, don't vote for me. Anyway, like I said, you just need to know the consequences of your action and you should be responsible for them. Okay? Like this man, with a Wike. According to him, you know, he said that we'll do politics. I will show you politics. So today in Rivers State, right? In Rivers State, he gave the obedience, the support he said he was going to give to them. Gave Obi enough security to brag, gave him vehicles, venue, and everything they needed, I believe. And indeed, he also has something to say. Okay? Even though he is PDP, supposed somebody for Atiku. He said until January. Wait, January, he will tell you. But guess what? In fact, I'm coming back. Again, the credit for this clip is for Channels Television. Help us beg them. And if you want to see more, you should go onto their YouTube channel as well. And you could probably see more. But this is the cutout from Wike.
So today, I've given notice to people who are saying, enough is enough of me. No, I have not started. I will start January. And then I will talk to Nigerians in the language Nigerians will understand. When people talk to people will understand. Many statistics. What's in your base? What's in your base? What's up in your base? Almost laba, Bogam Gogo, almost laba, they shall abuse me. Fa. Wearing the responsibility, the duty to tell Nigerians the truth and nothing but the truth. On this basis, let me thank Julius Berger. They've never disappointed us. I thank you so much. Fisher, Turner, and Barisho, you've done very, very well. And
they will speak to you in the language you understand. That's where the Wike in January. And, I mean, Peter Obi took shine off Atiku. Atiku shouldn't be running. He shouldn't be involved. Now, it doesn't look like anyway. Tinubu and gang, they believe that it is still the people destroying people, but that could be another shocker. Majority of the obedience, they probably have nothing to do with PDP. Well, doesn't really matter. At the venue where with the Wike was, as usual, you have not had enough of me. I'm not going away. Here is his new track, if you would like to listen, before I will let you listen to Obi himself addressing the youth or students in Rivers State. With the Wike, what is the new one? Disagreement. Anyway, let's listen to Obi himself addressing the students in Rivers State today. Just same way, like I said, if we give this Atif, if Atif to say something, I want you to hear. If Tinubu says something, I want you to hear him as well. Now, if he says something, I think it's the right thing for us to also listen and hear too. Sometimes it could be boring, I know. Obi, speaking with the Rivers State students earlier today.
Singapore is sustained by port operation. This port that we're talking about. This port that is in here. He knows. As I speak to you, Singapore have no place to build a seaport again. Do you know what they're doing? They're not building a port under the sea. They now want to develop under sea port. So they now want to go below the water and put a port for 2050. Wow. Because they have no land to do the port again. So they say, okay, see there here. Make you go under and put port. Here, we're here. Quarreling every day with nonsense. People carry our money, chop, come their answer is excellency. If they get excellency. What do you want to end in this waste of time? Let's just go and face the consequences of good governance. It doesn't cost anything for us to do the right thing. It's eventually more difficult for you to do the wrong thing. We want to bring your energy. Pat has said it. You will change the world. Those who are changing the world are like you. You might not even know you're far more intelligent than those who are changing the world. If they come to the type of school you are, they will fail. Go to me and know what. And not me, I don't go to school. Let me say I go, I just say make I know what's in there inside here. So if you say today, you go school, Harvard, I don't go there. Cambridge, I don't go there. Oxford, I don't go there. Everyone on different London School of Economics, Kellogg, I don't go. Columbia, I don't go. Where I go, I say I know what is there inside here. Very simple. When I tell you, if they come for where they learn, Zero, 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 zero. So, you are more intelligent. It is now time for you to take back your country and make it to work. And don't go and say, oh, you are campaigning for Pat Tommy. He's not giving you money. You're campaigning for this man. He's not giving you money. No, you're campaigning for yourself. Because I don't have a job. That man who exploits a young girl to give her a job will be punished by God. Because that's slavery of the highest order. She does not deserve it. She's supposed to be a father. She's supposed to show love to her. The same thing is what the mother is going to show. It's supposed to be a mother. It is not a society. So, we want to stop it. We want that girl to be able to have a job and do the right thing and do just the right thing. That's what we're going around with, not just fathers, with mothers who can say, Peter, you're wrong. That's not what we want to do. I was telling them when we were coming here about my last trip overseas, that I went with some people who were 30, that I went with young people. So when they asked me questions, I said, like these people answer you, now they know with the fight. Now then go fight for you. Part will tell you. One of the American greatest economists today, president today, President Clinton.
This picture is
My interest is to know that
this picture is the River State.
those who make Clinton were in their 30s. Those who made Obama were that age. Your age, students and people in the young youth in America said this is what we want. And when they had job, they were the people who insisted they will.
It's a long speech, but just so you hear the few part of it. But there's something I want to say. For those of us who are sort of collating data, getting things from here and there to compare, to compare and contrast statistics and the rest of that on what is going on in Nigeria. I don't know how you see, the way he talks, it's not like others will go entertain us or anything. So whatever it is that he's saying to them, okay, I can say somehow it seems to be working. Do you understand that? Like, somebody like you may sit down and be like, nah, I don't even like this will be and all of that. Just like some of you will be like this Tinubu and Tinubu genius, the man that speak the language of the gods. There are people who see everything that comes out of Tinubu's mouth is like, wow. Or you go they laugh, they shake head. Same thing like Atiku and others too. But you see that to be, whatever he's saying to them, it may sound somehow to you, but it seems to be working. And that is why you can say those who are cooking the violence here and there, let's see how much of this cooking could be done before February. To further say, well, let's see, because you see these ones, I don't know what he tells them, but it seems to be working. Whatever he's telling them, well, or whatever they are telling themselves, of course. If you are saying, come and turn around, I'm not saying you want to turn. That's why I said it from the beginning. Oh, they are just deceiving themselves. They're just, Are you not going to get mad if at the end of the day you realize that now you they deceive yourself? Are you prepared I've been at the shock. Sometimes it could just make you feel like, we no go agree or we no go agree because you are so angry. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, if you think say you go pull them off, or your leaders are going to pull them off, they can't fail. They know if you pull them off. Do you have your own plan? I don't know. The guy actually bragged differently. I don't know. Said, okay, you've been here, you've been there. And he told them, he said, if they found 1,000, one naira that he stole when he was governor, they should arrest him. And that he will resign, he will stop campaigning, he will not go anywhere. Baba, it's been over 8 months now. Even though you Okupe, no fee hide. They quickly jailed, they quickly convicted that one. So he bragged differently, and I bet that's one of the things that will make people not to be like, what did they worry yourself? What did they worry you? Somebody said, after all of these, you still presented the GCE. But the guy bragged differently. Have you noticed?
I was in the University of Nigeria, Lagos Business School. Go there, London School of Economics, Oxford University, Cambridge University, Anap, Olympia, Charade.
He brags differently, and it's not so typical. I'll close it with this very wonderful statement from Professor Lumumba. You remember him? The credit for this video goes to Sahara reporters. They recorded this years ago. To me, it is kind of still relevant. If you have a chance, listen to this as a young person, or maybe somebody who has a young person or young persons in your own home. It is still very fresh, like it was said yesterday. Take a listen.
Look at the history of revolutions. It was always the young people. As early as 1908 in Turkey, it is the young people who came up to rise up against the dictatorial regime. We remember even during the Bolshevik Revolution, it was the young people. We remember during the civil rights movement led by Martin Luther King Jr. and Ralph Abernathy, among others, it was young people. In 1968 in France, when there was a problem, initially in 1958 and 1968, it was young people. We remember in Tiananmen Square, it was young people. We remember in Korea in 1908, it was the young people. In South Africa, in the Sharpeville massacre in 1969, it was the young people. In Soweto in 1976, it was the young people. In the Arab world, it's the young people. But our young people in Africa today are imprisoned by Arsenal and Manchester United and Barcelona and Real Madrid, and our young girls are imprisoned by cheap South American soap operas and Beyonce Knowles. How can that be? How can a continent be so accursed that our young people have no sense of our history, no sense of our presence, no sense of our future? No wonder the Chinese are conquering us by the day. And we are wondering. John F. Kennedy said in 1960, a society whose young men and women are in a constant state of slumber will never realize our potential. Our young people must wake up. It is only the day that they wake up that they will be able to send a clear message to those in positions of leadership that you cannot continue to misgovern us. I look forward to those days.
Me too. I look forward to those days. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to draw my curtain as as the preaching comes to an end. Then come the comments. But remember, you have a chance of calling in if you use the number on your screen right now. It is a WhatsApp number. Just type the entire number on your WhatsApp and you'll be able to call in, okay? Now, I am going to excuse myself for a moment. And by excusing myself for a moment, it simply means that I will also leave you with this one. It's a short one. It is from Pastor Ruga. When I get back, I'll take calls. I pray that I'm allowed. I mean, the system is not going to really sort of messed us up. However, don't go anywhere. You can still like the broadcast, like it, share it, and you can also call in to also add your own contribution. Pastor Ruga, please.
You don't cast last. Everybody go shop breakfast. You don't cast last. Everybody go shop breakfast. You don't cast last. Everybody go shop breakfast.
Anyway, hang on. Right. Thank you very much for being part of this tonight. I don't know if my line is working. I came back from where I went to make my tea right now, and I realized I've not actually had any missed call. So it's either nobody's calling in or my line is not working. However, I'll use this moment as well to give you some updates. I've got something wonderful to share. And I should probably have shared that from the beginning, but it's not wrong if I do now. And that's to say, ladies and gentlemen, right? The Yoruba Union is actually taking shape already. As we speak, we are already getting the number of people who are going to take positions, immediate position right now, to set us on the path or the pathway to a well-coordinated, organized, and at the same time, probable, or no, sorry, I don't want to use probable. I want to say, an organization that you can actually follow the track record to say, what have you been doing? What are you up to? Are you with me? And they are coming up with brilliant ideas, lovely, amazing ideas. And for the first time, we're going to have a document that can actually explain to you why it is the right thing to do, right? To stand up and then support the emergence of the sovereign Yoruba nation. It is for our own good. No fight, no violence, just, the work. And I'm happy to say we already having a lot of people doing ready to do this free secretariat work for us. We still want more and more people to come on board. Check the Instagram, Telegram link for Yoruba Union. See, let me say this to you. If you have a smartphone, Many of you are watching me on your phone. Some people are watching on their TV screen, Abi. Now, under your smartphone, if you support the advocacy, the emergence of the Yoruba sovereign nation in a peaceful way that has been done, and you want to be part of that, right? Go and download Telegram, okay? If you are using, Android phones, right? Go to the Google Store. Is it Google Store? Google Play. It's called Google Play. Yeah, just go in there and check. What do you call it? Search for Telegram. Download it. Sign up for it. It is like that's your WhatsApp. Although WhatsApp is more kind of more secure than it. However, it is such a wonderful platform for interaction, information sharing, and every other thing that we intend to do. So search for Yoruba Union once you download the Telegram, okay? Once you download Telegram on your phone and you have also signed up, the next thing you should do is to search for Yoruba Union in a bracket like that, general. And you can join us. Your views, your opinion on how to make this work. We are looking for a lot of people. We are looking for a lot of, experts, professionals. And I'm talking about people who actually have something so important to put together to, to chart a discourse as we are planning. And a lot has been put together right now, but we need more people, more hands, more experiences, more expertise from your own field, whether it is security, be it education, healthcare, legal, constitution, and then what else again? Like IT, communication, research, what else again? Border information, boundary, that's everything that you think we need as a resource. And you've been a very resourceful person. We will be so grateful if you join us. And to be honest with you, it is mostly thankless job as well. And majority of us are doing this from our own resources. So you're welcome, and you are most welcome to be part of this in your own free time. For those who are willing to really work out something. Oh, damn it. I'm so sorry. I've been missing your call. I have somebody I have a caller who has been calling, and I just kept talking. Anyway, if you are that lucky person who managed to get in or get through, I think you should keep trying. All right. And if it's not going to be tonight, then we'll shift it. So part of the update on what we are intending to do is that in one of these days, in another day or two, I would expect our people in charge of what we are doing back in Yoruba land. Our princess, I want her to come on to come and give us a typical update. So far, so good. We have been able to pay for, in my view, since we have made available 2.7 million naira for this project in a way. So it simply means that we have been able to pay for everything we have been supplied. And we still have a lot of money left, which are mostly going to go into logistics. When I say logistics, I'm talking about the movement, moving all these things to all the locations, to all the towns. The people that are going to do this for us. When the last time I had a chat with Princess this afternoon, I was asking her about the update, and I was mostly asking about the people who are going to help us make this happen for the whole week. How much are we paying them? And Princess suggested that we should start with 25,000 naira a week. And then, we could probably make it even like more, depend on the resources we have. So we have about 4 people that are going to be working with her, okay? And they will be paid 25,000 naira each. Fair enough for that 7 days or 6 days, depends. Now we can be able to pay for that even from our own money. We're also going to get a media. I'm going to have a media and on this, we have a budget of 100,000 naira to cover our media coverage. The guy who is going to make sure that everything we do is completely and then, documented. So we are making sure that it's been taken care of as well. And they are being taken care of, I would say, for that 1 week as part of our plan without missing anything. Also, we are also factoring the possibility of them having to sleep out on that trip a trip that will take them to as far as Kogi. Means that we will not probably be raising money for ransom on them, because we won't encourage them to continue traveling through all those roads, even in the night when they are done at a place. So I've told her to please factor in possibility of hotels for these helpful people, including the media. So all of these, we believe that they are going to take some amount of our resources after this. However, I've told her to please give up. And also, we need transportation as well. She's suggesting that we could probably get a bus. I don't know how that's going to work for 500 bags. 500 bags of rice, 1,200 pieces of asparagus, and a few other things that she is planning to add as well. I don't know if a single bus will be able to carry all of that. Okay. Whatever it's going to be, she's suggesting that we're going to get a bus, we're going to get this, we're going to get, I've told her to put all of that in figure. We need number. We want to work with number. So far, so good. We have a 2.7 million naira already, channel towards this. If there's going to be more needed, of course, we'll be glad to. So she's working on that, and I bet she will be, she'll be glad to share that with us. And also, she's actually not really feeling so great. She's recovering from this flu as well. I told her, I said, would you mind if we probably just postpone it? Because we can't have you send people to go and do this while you have to be at home recovering. We want you to be part of that as you promised to, or as you would want to. So she rejected the option of, postponement. She believes that we have to do this and we have to do this before the end of the year. And she will be there to be part of it. So yeah, if we are not getting all the regular constant, should I say constant updates as it is, I want us to have that at the back of our mind, okay? All these people are doing this out of their own volition to say, okay, yeah, we can help. If this is we will need volunteers always. To make everything we want to do happen, we will need volunteers. And you could be that volunteer too. You could join the team. But yeah, that's that. So I don't think my line is going to take calls, okay? So there's no point in us staying any too long. I am going to say, let's put it another day. Also, you can take this as an announcement, okay? So we are going to have our People's Parliament in Yoruba, especially to talk more about the Yoruba nation and all of that, and things happening right now. And we're going to have that on the 31st of December. So 31st of December means that you are likely not going to be working around that time, and you can participate. So everyone is welcome to come and tell your story. As Maiyegun will be the anchor, it's going to be People's Parliament in Yoruba, and that's going to be on the 31st of December. So thank you very much, okay? I am so sorry if you have been trying to call in, but it keeps ringing. I have to tell you this. All of those are not getting here, and whenever they actually get here, right, we know what happened. They just cut off, which means we can't really talk. I'm so sorry. I hope it gets better some other time. So for the evening, thank you for joining me. Thank you for, liking and then sharing or subscribing. I am going to say that for everyone who might want to still be of support for us, to support any of this, all the links are out there, okay? Use them. For every penny you put towards this, will go towards everything we say we want to do. And yes, you can track them. You can follow them up. Trust me, you'll always be proud when the pictures of what your money is doing or has done start filtering in. There's this special feeling. Just feel so kind of, I'm so happy that even though I couldn't really go there to help people, I could actually extend my own hand of a generosity through a program I have a connection with, okay? Join us, be part of this. There's always something you can do to make an impact on this. I look forward to the success of the whole process. You can still support us, and every of your support, of course, is going to get to where they should get to. And thank you. Once again, don't go. without liking this broadcast. I mean, just like it is just to show that. Oh, hang on. Nah, I'm so sorry. I thought I took a caller that I wasn't even listening to. Okay, so I am going to. Yeah, we're going to have a system that's going to capture the database. You see, there's so much. What we have discovered is that there's so much ideas. There's so much things that people have suggested. There's a lot that all of you have as way things can be done. But what we discovered is that if we have all these ideas flowing everywhere, and we have no set of people who are going to be harvesting those ideas and put them where they should be and expand on them, and then us begin to act on them because they are all going to be so great. If we all try to act on the ideas we all have muted. So that is why the Yoruba Union is inviting you. Join us on Telegram, okay? I wish I could give you the link right now, but I'm so done now that I'll do that some other time, okay? If you have the link, share it with everybody. Join us there, and then, let's have a proper conversation. Take up a role. Be part of the whole process. I mean, and we will never, ever, forget you, and we will remain grateful to you. I know what this means when we share the role. It makes the job easier. Now, if you are interested, there's an opportunity for you to make that idea of yours, right? To make it a reality. Join the Yoruba Union on Telegram. Go on to the yorubaunion.org and register as a member. Of course, you can register. You can even interact with other members too. We have an instant messaging system on our website, the yorubaunion.org, right? Go on there, register, sign up. When you sign up, set up your own profile, and then maybe interact with other people too. I'm so sorry I should have brought all this information with me and put them right there for you to use. But for those who have been using them, I don't think it's new to them. Please encourage others too as well. Invite friends and family. Tell people to join us. One thing about the Yoruba Union is that I love everybody on that platform that it's not just Yorubas that are there. And you need to be there to even know. Yeah, we might have moves and all that, but guess what? The conversation there is so open and it is so mature. And in fact, they are so detailed enough that you could get propelled to also say something or even do something or even take up a role. I'm encouraging you to please be part of it. Let's bring this to light. Let's build a document that is going to be our guideline, something readable, relatable. It is possible. All these ideas, you can put them into something and build on them and then bring them to life. See how much it's going to be when Yoruba Union will make the people the ally in the entire struggle. And then as they are preparing for their elections, we are actually preparing for the aftermath of that. Now, if you want us to be that effective, it's not going to be a one-man show. It's not going to be a two-man show. It's not going to be a group of people's show. It's going to be our show. You could take a role. And I'm actually encouraging you to. How would you find out? Join that Telegram. Look out for it. If you already have Telegram on your phone, right? Please just go on there and search. Search for Yoruba Union, right? Join the group and make it lively. I'm going to see you some other time anyway. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and good night. From here.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary. fatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lérí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe mọ́.